Holistic Doctor of the Year. To be a part of the show, call 417-447-1777. Wellness Wednesday. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Shealy-Sorin.
And good afternoon. And unfortunately, today, Dr. Sorin is not here. He's out of town at an important friend's wedding. However, we're going to talk about all the good stuff related to your health, as we always do. And wait till you hear some of the things I've got to tell you today. Well, it's really important because health to me is the most single important thing in your own life. Each of us can do whatever we came to do better and happier if we're healthy. And so listen in carefully. And of course, I will announce the winner of this last week's contest, K. Higgins. Congratulations. You have won any of our courses, any course of your choice. And I'm sure that Matt will be letting you know how to do that. Now, for the next through Friday midnight, our Healthy Black Friday sale ends. But until then, $200 on the PEMP device, $200. That's a pretty good discount. It's automatic as you check out. And, of course, there's $100 off the Scalar Energy device. And everything else in the entire store is 10% off through Friday midnight. But you have to put everything else you order, black, all capitals, Black Friday 21, Black Friday 21, to get your 10% discount. Now, I want to start with talking about nutrition because I suspect that maybe at the top of the list for unhealthy things and disease is crummy nutrition. Here's one little bit of fact. The proper nutrition has the potential for reduction in these diseases. Just good nutrition. Heart disease, cut it down 75%. Cancer, 78%. Respiratory and infectious diseases, 79%. And diabetes, well, only 52%, just by eating right. Now remember, only 2.2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is unhealthy. That's the average American. I don't know what percentage, but if average, I suppose we could say 50% minimum are getting only 2.2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Ideally, you get 8 to 10, and it's real food. Now, I got to remind you that 80% of the food available in your average grocery shop, that's what I think about them, 80% is junk. I do not walk down the center aisles. I walk around the outside aisles only. The only thing I will buy on the center aisles is apple juice. I don't even buy any of the other juices. Apple juice is one of the few that doesn't have added sugar. But I don't go to any fast food restaurant. I've told this story many times. You know, I went in 1962 when McDonald's opened in Cleveland, where I lived at the time. I took one bite, spit it out. I've never been back, and I will never go back. In addition, I don't go to any Asian restaurant because all fast food restaurants, but especially Asians, add monosodium glutamate, which is poison to your brain. Don't eat at those shops. They should all be closed yesterday. And, of course, the most important thing is to eat real fruits and vegetables. You need an average of at least 6 servings of vegetables and 2 servings a day of fruits. And, in my opinion, I don't like a vegan diet because it is absolutely zero in taurine, which is one of the most important amino acids in your body. And there ain't no taurine in any vegetable whatsoever. Well, you can always take it, but you got to eat clams or take a capsule to get your adequate taurine. So nutrition is the top of the list. Now, again, because of today's world, with your government's inclusion of poison, allowing 75% of the rain to have Roundup in it, 90% of our groundwater to have Roundup in it. I mean, it's poison. And then your city council, at least here in Springfield and most cities, is probably even worse with fluoride added to it. Fluoride drops the average child's IQ only 10%. And of course, in addition, it allows your pineal gland, the master gland, to become calcified by age 17 instead of age 70 or more. So get a filter at least for the water you drink and cook with. And again, because of the poison in the food and the air and everything else, you need extra supplements. And of course, at the top of my list is vitamin D3. If you weigh 140 pounds or more, 50,000 units of D3 once a week. If you ever feel what I call a bug knocking at the door, you wake up and say, oh, God, take 150,000 units of D3 3 days in a row. Second, take Shealy-Sorin Youth Formula. It's the best in the world of vitamin C with 1 gram of MSM as well as 2 grams of vitamin C and a little bit of beta-glucan. It helps you raise your DHEA, the anti-stress hormone, the most important hormone in your body. And most people by age 50 have half or less what they had at age 25. And finally, B complex, your brain, especially your brain, the most important organ in your body. You need 25 milligrams minimum of B1, B2, B4, B6. Used to get by with 1 or 2 milligrams. Well, that's because of poison in the air. Some of those common symptoms today are my brain is foggy, right? My memory's going, etc., etc., etc. Those are the essentials. Now, if you have a problem, you don't need a drug. 99% of the time, you don't need a drug. My favorite statement is, I know no, zero drug, which I would allow long term. In fact, gotta admit, even short term, I don't want many of them. There's no circumstance, for instance, I'd rather die of the cancer than chemotherapy. The evidence is overwhelming. You live longer without taking the chemotherapy and the radiation than you do when you get them. I would take huge doses of vitamin C IV with a Myers cocktail. At least it could do something safely to help you overcome the cancer potentially. And let's look at some of the complications of some of the most common drugs. In my opinion, the worst drug group, maybe, other than narcotics, and they're okay for acute illness, but I don't like them after a month, but especially after 3 months, under no circumstance. I just would die to take them. And it does increase your risk of suicide when you got access to them anyway. But more importantly is the anti-anxiety drugs. The side effects include, quote, memory loss, amnesia, that's even worse than memory loss, I guess, high blood pressure, changes in heart rate and rhythm, low blood pressure, as well as it could occur either way, a rash, seizures, slurred speech, blurred vision, and coma, but they're prescribed. There is no circumstance under any time, acutely or long term, that I would take an anti-anxiety drug. To me, it's poison. Now, looking at the antidepressant drugs, the side effects there are headache, joint pain, muscle pain, nausea, skin rashes, and diarrhea. And it increases the risk of suicide by almost twice. People who are depressed have a higher rate of suicide anyway. But taking an antidepressant drug doubles the risk of committing suicide. We might as well just go ahead and die anyway and instead of taking the stupid drug. And of course, then hypertension. All antihypertensive drugs suck, and I'm being as kind as I can since I'm on the radio. they mostly cause chronic fatigue, no energy whatsoever, and, of course, erectile dysfunction in men, but you don't have any energy anyway, so who cares? Now, the answer for everything is take care of yourself. And again, as I look at now we're approaching, I think, at least 37,000 people we've taken care of in the last 50 years. The top of the list really is anxiety. I think the cure for anxiety, as well as many other problems, is autogenic training. Now, just listen carefully. If you want to practice this on yourself, you could. Ideally, of course, for the next week, only exactly 1 week only, I'll give you free of charge a recording, an MP3 of my guided imagery autogenic training. It's my favorite thing, but you have to email me directly. Norm@normshealy.com. If you email me directly, I'll be happy to send you a copy of autogenic training. If you don't want to do that, memorize these facts very quickly. As you breathe in, you say, my arms and legs, as you breathe out, are heavy and warm. Each of these you repeat a number of times. Next, as you breathe in, my heartbeat, as you breathe out, is calm and regular. Next, my breathing is free and easy. My abdomen is warm. My forehead is cool. My mind is quiet and still. I am at peace. There are 28,000 scientific references on the health benefits, psychologically, in every possible way, as well as physically, of autogenic training. I know of no other treatment that even comes close to it in safety or efficacy. So why not practice it? After 3 months, it becomes automatic. Now, in the current stupidemic, fake-ademic, I probably do it twice a day for 1 or 2 minutes. That's all. It's all it takes for me to escape the madness that is going on around the world. Now, let's talk about all the other things that are critically important. Remember, again, the average American eats slop or worse. Slop plus poison. Slop, I guess, is just waste fruits and vegetables, whereas poison is really even worse, unless the discarded food has already become petrified or disorganic, if you will. At any rate, the next thing is physical activity. Sitting all day, not getting any real physical exercise. Now, just walking around, go to the bathroom, going up and down the stairs once or twice, none of that works. It doesn't count. You need a minimum of this is a minimum. This is like breathing. 30 minutes of physical exercise 5 days a week. Sitting all day is as bad as smoking 1 or 2 packs of cigarettes a day, which only shortens your life 7 to 10 years. I guess it doesn't matter if you sit and smoke, how much quicker it goes, but who cares? Third, sleeping 7 or 8 hours a night. Nothing else comes close to being as important as that. I don't get less than 8 hours ever. Well, maybe once a month I'll get 7 hours, but when you get below, when 6 hours, just 6 hours or less, you have twice the chance of having an automobile accident as an alcoholic or a drug addict. Folks, it isn't worth it to miss your sleep. Nothing is more important than your health. And of course, I didn't mention this after the poor exercise, but no smoking. 22% of them, I think at the highest, only about 42% of people smoked. 22% of adults still smoke. That's added to the Roundup in the air and the fluoride in your water. And I want to, by the way, mention that 50% of bottled water just comes from city water that's fluoridated. So if it doesn't say it's reverse osmosis or something else that convinces you it has no fluoride in it, it ain't worth paying $1 or a penny for a bottle of fluoridated water. Think about life. What's most important to you? I can't think of anything in the world that is more important than your personal health. So that you think right and can be happy and do what you came to do, which is to help other people. And again, I always like to remind you, anything that you do, like make this paper or this pen or this wallet, anything you do that helps other people, the microphone, the earphones, anything you do is just as important. Because nobody can do everything for him or herself. We all need the help of a large number of people. I mean, you couldn't have this building by one person or this microphone without a very complicated group of people. So the important thing is you must learn to take care of your health. You must eat right, exercise right, and have good health habits. Think right. Thinking sets in motion spiritual forces to bring about change in body, mind, companions, hope, despair, life in general. Every thought is a prayer. You can't afford the luxury of unhappy thinking. You can't afford the luxury of negativity. I could say these things and have no emotion attached to it. It doesn't affect me. I'm not hating anybody. I'm not disliking anybody. I'm just saying this is an analysis of the world as I see it. I can look at the window. We're having a lovely day here. And I always appreciate it. To me, I don't exactly worship. I recognize nature as part of what I call the greater divinity. It is part of the holy universe. And I do think about that every day, some aspect of that. But of course, I also remind you that some people think this is one of the most important phrases in the Bible. That God said that it created man, and that's what it says in Genesis, in the image of God. But he also talked about women being created essentially in the image of God. We are created in the image of. I can't find anything that defines that adequate to my satisfaction. It doesn't mean to me a physical sameness. It means an attitude, a brain that functions in this way. That's to me what is, we can think like God. We can behave and act like God. Everything that we do affects everything in our life and in the lives of all the people around us, one way or another. Be at peace with yourself and the world. If you don't like something, well, either ignore it totally or work comfortably and peacefully to change it. Now, I can't change anybody personally. I can change myself, but I can't change any one of my patients or anyone else. Now, I have an influence, I hope, on my children. Fortunately, they're doing well, so I hope it was a good influence. But other than that, I can't change what anybody else does or behaves or how they act. I can help guide you. I can give you advice like this, but I can't do it for you. I can't eat for you, breathe for you, sleep for you, or exercise for you. Now, I want to mention, I still do 2 hours of physical exercise a day. I would be bored if I did only 30 minutes 5 days a week. I would feel uncomfortable. I think I would fall apart. I mean, I've done it all my life. Now, there are times when I've only exercised vigorously an hour a day, I'm not quite as vigorous as I was when I was doing just 1 hour a day, but I do 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that doesn't hurt me. It doesn't. In fact, it energizes me. I begin my day. I may have a glass of water, but other than that, nothing else until I've done my 2 hours of physical exercise. Now, I strongly suggest that you, shortly after you get up, do some kind of exercise. I think there's something about beginning your day with a period of moderate exercise. Now, again, my favorite exercise is, I call it bouncing, because when you're doing this standing, you have to bend your knees just a little bit. And so your whole body is bouncing a little bit. Now, I only do 30 minutes of that on the Vibe machine every day, but I do another hour and a half of other things every day. So everything that you do affects everything that's in your life. Think positively, think peace, think detachment from the things you cannot change. Be at peace with yourself and the world. And don't play broken records about how bad life is. Acknowledge it and detach from it. Don't play broken records. Oh my God, it's a horrible day. Who cares? It's another day. The weather cannot affect you unless you pay attention to it and wallow in manure about it. It ain't manure unless you make it that. Thinking is what sets everything. Think wholly. And that's why we chose the word holistic for holistic medicine. Now, I want to mention that once upon a time, I created the concept of holistic medicine and the American Holistic Medical Association. Interestingly, the world has done its best to get rid of that word. They call it alternative, complementary, and then integrative. Merciless, that's what I call it here in Springfield, said once upon a time they had a department of integrative medicine. They offered hot stone massage. Folks, I have nothing against hot stone massage, but it ain't much of an integrative practice. It's not holistic. I now have created the American Holistic Medical Association, which is for all allied health professionals. Instead of the AMA being against everything except physicians and nurses, to me it includes every licensed health professional, from psychologists to naturopaths to osteopaths to chiropractors, physical therapists. You know, if you're a licensed health professional, why are you not part of the American medical system? So the American Holistic Medical Association will have its first annual meeting in May 21st, 2022. And we will be right back with you after this brief break. Okay, any questions?
You have a question? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm a 73-year-old woman having trouble with hair loss. Male pattern baldness. Is there a cure? What about Rogaine?
I don't think Rogaine would do anything for your hair loss. It's one of two things. Either you are probably DHEA deficient, possibly, of course, most women at that age are deficient in estrogen. I would do two things. I would get an analysis of your thyroid. Now, if you drink fluoridated water, don't bother with the analysis because it's worse than your blood level will be. But check your oral temperature after you've been out of bed 2 hours. If it is well below 98.6, you are hypothyroid, and that could certainly cause your problems. You need thyroid replacement and not levothyroxine, but plain old Armour's thyroid if you're hypothyroid. If you're, quote, just DHEA deficient, you can have that measured, not DHEA sulfate, just plain DHEA. You can take a little bit of natural progesterone once a day. My magnesium lotion, 2 teaspoons twice a day. The Shealy-Sorin youth formula once a day, and at the top of the list, Fire Bliss once a day. Within a month, that can raise your DHEA a whopping 250% from where you are. So that's what I would do.
Okay. All right, the next one is long. Last week you mentioned castor oil and inferred Sauna Cleanse. If I remember correctly, I'm supposed to apply the castor oil to my body prior to the sauna and then sauna for 20 to 30 minutes. What type of detoxification is this doing?
Castor oil is actually absorbed through the skin and cleanses the lymph system. So it's like a lymph detoxification.
What is your advice for dealing with lumbar osteoporosis?
With all osteoporosis, at the top of the list is vitamin D3. We've already given the amount of that, 50,000 units for those 140 pounds or more, once a week, every 10 days for those under 140 pounds. Secondly, I would add magnesium lotion because magnesium is poorly absorbed through the mouth. And bone is a combination of calcium and magnesium. And boron, again, depending upon your weight, up to 12 milligrams a day of boron, and a moderate amount of physical exercise.
How much taurine do you take to lower blood pressure?
To lower blood pressure, it takes 2,000 milligrams of taurine 3 times a day, so 6,000 milligrams a day. And you can't, if you're taking medication, don't stop the medication slowly. Get a holistic physician's advice while doing it. But if you're just going to do it without medication that you have to worry about, then 2,000 milligrams 3 times a day. And do automatic training, it'll help as well.
Okay. Does it matter how slow or fast the IV goes when you take the Myers cocktail?
That's an important one. Does it matter how fast the IV goes when you take a Myers cocktail? You better believe it does. That much vitamin C, which I love, it's the favorite thing. I've been doing it since 1979. It has to be done slowly. Now, if you get 50 grams, it can be done in 2 to 3 hours. If you get 75 to 100 grams, it can be done in 3 to 4 hours. Now, in my case, and I've certainly had a lot of them, especially in the last 2 years, every 2 weeks I take a 50 gram, just on general health principles. I don't have it. I don't need it. I don't want to have to need it in big doses. If I take a 500 cc, just a small amount.
We're getting ready to come back in.
If I take it, I take that over a minimum of 2 and up to 3 hours because you put out twice as much you take in. It is a diuretic. So the important thing is it has to be done slowly, but it's worth the time, folks. It is my favorite health enhancement.
We're back in. Go ahead.
And we are back on the air, and now we are ready for your questions on the air. 417-447-1777. And while we're waiting for that first question, I want to remind you, you do need supplements, and you can get those from our website, or you can get them here in Springfield at Spring Valley, my favorite place to shop, and it's where I shop because it's friendly and service. It has the best service of any place you've ever been, and they carry all of our goodies, our magnesium lotion, our youth formula, our essential multivitamin mineral, our bliss oil. But the most important thing is the service you get at Spring Valley. And of course, my next most important food, Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate. Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate lowers your blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, it's anti-inflammatory, and it tastes especially good. And just 2 tablespoons is equal to 3.5 perfect servings of fruits and vegetables. And we have a call. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Yes, my mother just had colon surgery. She had 24 inches taken out of her lower colon. Do you recommend the Gamma Pemp for that?
I recommend what?
The Gamma Pemp device?
Yes, I would put that on the abdomen and use it for 4 hours at minimum a day. Absolutely.
Okay, because the doctor was saying that the colon has to kind of wake up.
Oh yeah, and it has to heal, and it takes 4 to 8 or 12 weeks just to heal. So definitely, I love the PEMP device. It's my favorite creation in the last 60 years.
Okay, great then. I appreciate it. Thank you for your help.
You are most welcome. Blessings to you and her.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Now is your turn. 417-447-1777. Ask a question about anything because it's all related to your health. Well, I don't suppose a question about this pen would do me much good, or you either, because I couldn't answer it. But everything else, every habit you can think of, every thought you can think of, I can give you advice about, because to me, that's the basis of everything. It's your thinking. It's the way your brain acts about everything that's happening to you every moment of every day. Be at peace. Detached from those things you cannot change. Now, if you're going to get out of the way of a car coming at you, jump. But nothing else has to be done that fast. Unless you're involved in some kind of sports activity where you jump over hoops or things. But other than that, think peace. Be at peace, detached from things you cannot change, like the government. It's darn close to my least favorite thing in the world. And because it allows so much toxicity. I mean, to me, instead of all the stupid rules and regulations they have, what they should do is prevent poison and not promote poison as they do, as our Department of Agriculture does, our FDA does, our CDC does. They promote unpleasant and unhealthy. In fact, I call it the Federal Death Administration and the Center for Death Control, because that's how much I trust them. But am I angry when I do it? No. I'm smiling when I do that, because that's I feel it's sort of getting even with them. It's my way of dealing with things I can't do anything about. And good afternoon, you're on the air.
Oh, good morning. Good afternoon. Hi. I got the Gamma Pimp just recently, and I got it for the purpose of helping cognitive function. So do I want to use that setting for that for a certain period of time, and then at some point in time change it over to the Shealy-Sweep?
Now I'm having difficulty understanding what she's saying.
She says that she has the Gamma Pemp,
Right.
and she wants to know for cognitive development
how
long she should use it and what settings.
It's okay. It's good at both the general sweep settings, the first setting, but if you have any problem like anxiety, depression, I would use the gamma setting. Now, if you want to do it to help you sleep, use the delta sweep. The delta sweep is good only for local pain or for sleep, but the other two are both good for thinking.
Okay. And then I had one other question. Are you familiar with the Chi machines?
Oh, I love the Chi machine.
Are they? Okay. Now I've got one, most of them just have the one setting, but I've got one of the ones that's got the different speeds. Are the different speeds okay to use?
Oh, yes. It is excellent for lymph flow and circulation and relaxation.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for your time.
Hey, blessings. Thanks for calling. And you can call now. It's your turn at 417-447-1777. Or I can keep talking until I get an announcement by somebody else on the phone, because that's what I'm here for, to help you with your questions right now for every day in the year. And if you are on a drug and are aware that it's already causing one of the thousands of complications that such drugs can cause, and want to get off, you need a holistic physician. You will not be able, at 99.9% of the average physicians, to get off any drug whatsoever, because that's all they know. or do. So you need a holistic physician. Interestingly, I get a number of phone calls and Zoom meetings where people have scheduled time with me, and I can guide you in withdrawal from some drugs. But for IV vitamin C, of course, I can't give that by phone or Zoom. You've got to look on the internet and don't look for integrative medicine. It's nonsense most of the time. Look for holistic medicine. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Do it again.
Hello?
Do it again.
I don't hear anything.
Hello.
There.
Hello?
Hi, Dr. Shealy. I wanted to call for a dear friend of mine.
I'm sorry?
I wanted to call and ask about a friend of mine.
Okay. What's going wrong with the friend?
Well, he has Parkinson's really bad.
And I'm not getting that word.
Parkinson's.
Oh, he's got Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, yes. And his wife, I know, has called in before, but the problem that we're seeing today is the nurse has said that his albumin is very low. And with that, his hands are really hot. They're very red and swollen. And when she tried to move him, and the skin on his arms just came off.
Now, that's more complicated than most people with Parkinsonism. I honestly would have to have a consult with him, probably by Zoom, in order to help.
Okay.
At the top of my list for the mental problems associated with Parkinsonism is the gamma PIMP device. One of my favorite stories of a man, 60 years, who couldn't talk or walk. He couldn't even stand by himself. And in a month, he was walking into the clinic. But with all those other things that are not part of the Parkinsonism itself, I would need a consultation because there's something else going on with those kind of symptoms.
Right. And I know that he, I think that the ring that you have has saved him.
Right.
Before. Do you know of a way to raise the albumin level?
Again, honestly, because we need to know what's happening in his liver, we need to know a whole bunch of things. I would need his metabolic profile to answer that kind of question.
Right. I understand.
He needs quality protein, but I can't tell him for sure until I know what's going on with his liver at least, or his kidneys.
Yes. Oh, and actually, I believe the gentleman that you were speaking about earlier is the man that I'm calling about.
Interesting. Well, if he is, we need to get a blood test.
Okay. Okay.
The time has come, the walrus said.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because... yeah, please do.
Okay. We will do that then.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. And now is your turn, 417-447-1777, or I can continue talking again. Remember, at the top of my list is the habits we talked about. Eating adequate vegetables and fruits, and, in my opinion, some meat and dairy and eggs. Again, I do not like a vegan diet. Ellen G. White, the founder of Seventh-day Adventism, and they are lacto-ovo-vegetarians, but in her wonderful book, and it's written in about 1880, she said, when you're ill, you need meat. Well, if you need meat when you're ill, it can't be bad for you when you're not ill. And, of course, you need supplements 10 times what you needed, or more, maybe 30 times or 50 times what you needed when Ellen G. White was around. But the important thing is go holistic and don't get on drugs if you can avoid them. Good afternoon. You on the air. Hello?
Hello. Good evening. Hi. I'd like to ask Dr. Shealy a question.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, yes. I would like to know about infrared saunas and EMF that might be associated with it.
Right. I have an old-fashioned, regular old sauna in which the coals in there are just heated with electricity, not far infrared. I don't know. I would have to get, a test. I personally would prefer just heat from the electricity than infrared, but as long as you're not sitting, right by the heater itself, I think it's probably okay. If you sit at least several feet away from the heater, you're probably okay.
Okay, because I have a portable machine with the machine inside.
And when you get in the sauna, how far away can you get from it?
Well, it's quite there by my feet.
Oh, it's by your feet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry to say, but it wouldn't be my favorite way of getting heat.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I'll maybe lift my feet up away from it. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Uh-oh.
What can I do for you?
I'm turning my television off so I can okay, there he's off. My name is Johanna.
Okay.
And I wondered if I could ask Dr. Shealy a question about melatonin for sleep.
Yes, melatonin is great. I personally prefer timed release melatonin. How much do you weigh?
But I keep reading, Dr. Shealy, that you should not take it, but just for short term. What does that mean, short term? 2 weeks? 3 months? I mean...
well, most people say that. How old are you?
I am 80 years old.
I see no problem taking melatonin, time-release melatonin. I would start with at least 5 milligrams. And I think...
I've been able to find the time-release 5 grams. I'm taking 7 grams of regular right now.
7 grams?
7
milligrams.
Milligrams. I'm sorry.
I think 7 grams got to be fatal.
I think it's sweet.
But I'd go up as high as 20 milligrams in someone like you. But again, if it's not working, then I would probably consider trying Taurine, L-Taurine, at least 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams an hour before bedtime.
Oh, okay. And can I take that on an empty stomach?
It doesn't matter. You could take it with dinner, even if it's late enough, or if it's.
Oh, okay.
And also, especially if you also use magnesium lotion, magnesium and taurine work synergistically together to help relax the nervous system.
Oh, okay.
And
go ahead.
Take my advice about today's only giving you free my autogenic training MP3. Send me an email and I'll give it to you because it can help you relax. Many people fall asleep with it.
Okay, let me ask you one other quick question. I have something happen at night when I sleep. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up, my muscles are very, very tired. My muscles, it's like I've been gripping, like my arms have been tight and my legs have been tight. What can I do for that?
That sounds to me as if you're not sleeping deeply, that you're actually restless. And again, the answers are primarily deep rest and the taurine and the magnesium.
The taurine and the magnesium before bedtime, about an hour before?
Yes.
And just put the lotion on my arms or legs or both?
You can put it even on your buttocks because but if they ache, then I would put it on my arms and legs, yes.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. You're just such a wonderful person to share all your wisdom with us all. It's wonderful.
You. Have a good one.
Blessings to you, Dr. Shealy.
Blessings.
Thanks.
And now is your turn, 417-447-1777. Time for another question or two, or I can keep talking about all my favorite subjects, and hopefully they're important to you as well. Every day, in every way, I am better and better. That's one of my favorites. Other than autogenic training, that may be my next favorite one. Emil Coué was famous for that. He supposedly cured 10,000 people, just having them say every day, in every way, I am better and better. Now, I've talked about this in the past, but there's other words that can help you get at peace, like heal. Just saying the word heal is healing in itself. Or rejuvenate, another of my favorite words. Or I am at peace. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Dr. Shealy, hi.
Hi.
I have a comment and then a question.
Okay.
I've had multiple colonoscopies, which I've had up to 9 polyps at a time.
Wow.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 5. But I just had one last month, and I had 0.
You gotta believe it. Good.
And the only thing really different is the last 2 years is that I've had the PEP machine.
You've had what?
Would that, the PEMS?
Oh, good. Hey, that's great news.
Would that help on that?
It certainly could. Remember, it helps every cell in your body. So I would think it sounds to me as if that, I'm knocking wood, that sounds as if it may well be the PEMF. Thank you for that information.
Yeah, that was like, never had I had 0.
Right.
So,
well, as our Australian friends would say, good on you, mate.
Yeah. But a friend has real bad tendonitis, or the ear ringing.
Okay. Now, have you tried Air and Fire Bliss?
No, I haven't. I couldn't remember which one.
Okay.
He said it's like horrible.
My experience is Fire and Air Bliss. You have to put each on once a day. It takes 1 minute once you learn the points. And it can take up to 3 months. But it's the single best and only thing I know that really can relieve tinnitus.
Okay, Fire and Air?
Fire and Air.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
And, of course, every day, in every way, I am better. Better is one of the great ones. But another one is every thought is a prayer. So be careful how you think. Think positively. Think, I'm okay. Repeat even that, I'm okay. If you don't like heal or rejuvenate or every day in every way, I'm better and better, make up your own phrase of how good it is and how you want to be and how you want your body and mind to work. And don't forget to be in awe of the universe. To me, the physical earth itself is phenomenal. Now, the universe is beyond me. It's gorgeous and wonderful and extreme. But just here on earth, nature is my favorite part of the universe because in general, nature is at peace. Even in bad weather, I don't pay attention to the weather when it's raining or snowing or whatever. When it's not that, the world outside can calm me just looking out the window at it. That's all it takes, just to recognize how wonderful it was. I mean, even looking out here. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello? Are you there?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Dr. Shealy, what do you suggest, or is there any possibility of correcting male anorgasmia?
I think that's great.
No. Is there a possibility of reversing that or stopping that condition?
I think so.
What would you suggest?
Well, now, tell me what symptoms you're having.
Just lack of orgasm.
Lack of what?
Of orgasm.
Ah, have you measured your DHEA?
No, I have not.
I think the chances are low DHEA. On our website, there's a package for DHEA. It includes 4
Okay,
different
and-
things. And the average person is going to be deficient in DHEA with that problem. And I much prefer that to testosterone.
Okay. Right now, my T level is at 375, and I am taking your youth formula and your greens.
And are you taking also the vitamin D3 and the Fire Bliss?
The D3, yes, probably only about 5,000 units, but the Fire Bliss, no.
Well, add the Fire Bliss and double your vitamin D3.
Okay.
But within a month, that should raise your DHEA. I'd like to get your DHEA well above 500.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi. I was wondering, I heard you and Dr. Sorin say that you should do a sweep of when you're using the PEMF. If I'm using it on the second speed, which is for for brain development, should I end? Because sometimes I'll sit with that for a few hours. Should I end with the Shealy sweep? I think you guys said that last week.
Right. Well, actually, if you the general sweep is excellent for the brain and the body as a whole. The second sweep, the gamma sweep, is best primarily for the brain and anxiety and that kind of thing. The delta frequency is primarily to help you sleep or for local pain.
So can you do too much? Like, can I do too?
20, you can, well, other than taking a shower or a bath or being outside in the rain, no, you can do it 23 hours a day.
Okay. And my other question is it better to take vitamin D in the large doses, like you suggest, or is it better to do it daily, or?
I just take it once a week, and I take 50,000 units once a week in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And it sounds to me as if the time has come, the walrus said, to wish you all a great week and have a good one. See you next week.
Radio station KICK, Vision Communications Incorporated, its management or advertisers. Vision Communications Incorporated is not responsible for the validity or accuracy of information presented on this program.
The Pledge of Allegiance is brought to you by Missouri Place Sets.
Yeah, if we have some more, let's do it.
United States of America.
I don't need these stuff for that.
No, you don't. Okay. Do you have any tips for sore throat and swollen lymph glands?
Now, that to me is a swollen nodes and sore throat. That's an immune problem. So to me, I would have at least a C-reactive protein or high sensitivity C-reactive protein test to find out how significant it is. And of course, the only treatment I would personally do for it is intravenous vitamin C in a Myers cocktail.
All right. And this person is asking, do you prefer magnesium spray or lotion?
Well, I personally prefer the lotion, but they're equally good as far as effectiveness is concerned.
It says the Nature's Blessed Tart Cherry has 16 milligrams of sugar per ounce. Is that okay to have each day?
Oh, yeah. That actually comes from the cherry itself. I mean, it's a fruit.
Natural sugar. Right? It's natural sugar.
As far as I know, that's a natural sugar.
Okay. And is it possible to take too much of the B vitamins?
Yes, it is. If you get above 100 milligrams of niacin, it can actually cause irritation. Now, except when you have carpal tunnel syndrome. If you have carpal tunnel syndrome, we give up to 1,000 milligrams, but never, ever beyond a month. And ordinarily, for the average person, only 100 milligrams a day.
The last one, it says, have you heard of vibrating plates that people use as exercise and for circulation?
I love the VibraPlate.
Okay.
And my favorite, by the way, because of cost, is Confidence, CONFIDENCE. Only $250. I bought one 20 years ago or more for $2,400, and this was just as good. I love them.
Okay. And that is it for our questions online.
Well, wonderful, folks. Again, have a great week and enjoy it.